Hello guys, how are you? My name is Marcus Magiolo. I'm an author and also an animal behavior. And the video today is a little bit different. I normally make videos here on my channel talking about dogs, talking about behavior, or talking about my books. But not today. Today I'm gonna do something different. Today I'm gonna do a video talking about the challenges of immigrating, like moving to a different country. For those who don't know, I am from Brazil originally. I'm from São Paulo, the southeast of Brazil, and I moved to the United States in 2012. I did that for many reasons. I'm not gonna explain here why the reasons I did, but my point is, it's not easy to be an immigrant at first. The first 2, 3, 4 years, they normally are very difficult, and mainly because you start a new life. When I moved in 2012, I was 34 years old. So I was not old, but I was not 20 years old. I was not a boy anymore. I was already a grown man, and it's hard when you are in a moment in your life, in an age in your life when you're expecting already have some money or building some stuff, and you are not there, and you have to start everything. You need to start from zero again in a different country when you don't know where, you don't know anybody. I didn't have any friends when I moved to United States. It was just me and my dogs, and it's difficult. You leave behind stories, you leave behind the place where you grew up, your family, your best friends. It's difficult. But I think this is the most difficult challenge when you move to another country. It's leave behind your life. It's leave behind the people you love. It's leave behind your best friends and all that. But I am very happy that I did that, because I think I did in the right moment in my life, and I did not know that. At that point, I had no idea that I was doing exactly in the correct moment, because as I say, I was 34 years old, so I was not a boy. So I was already a man, so I had some scars in my life. So that gives you experience. But I also was not old. So I was in my prime. The 30s, I believe, is our primes. And I was in my prime. So I have a lot of energy to work. I had a strong mind, and I was not scared to do whatever I had to do, to work hours and hours and hours. I was in good health, and moving to the United States was the best decision I made in my life at that point. Because this country here, the United States, is amazing. It's an amazing country. I became a citizen just 3 years ago, and it was the right decision. I love this country. I built in my life in 12 years more than I built in 34 in Brazil. There's no country in the planet that will give you the opportunities that this country will give to you, that United States will give to you. Uh, Believe me, I have friends and family in South America. I have friends and family in Europe. I've been in, I think, 18 different countries. And this is the land of opportunity. And I make jokes with my American friends now that I say, guys, if you don't make a living in this country, you're not going to make a living anywhere else. Because, of course, the US is not perfect. And I'm going to talk about what I see as the downside of the United States, but you're not gonna make as much money in Europe. You're not gonna make as much money in the South America. You're not gonna make as much money in Japan or Australia. You're not gonna have so many job opportunities like here in US. And I built my life here in 12 years, and I'm very, very grateful for what the opportunities this country gave to me. I have a house that is not a big house, but is a house that, if I wanted to have a house this size in Brazil, I had to be a millionaire. I can have a good car, and this is US. This is America. If you work hard, if you give it all, if you're not lazy, if you work 6, 7 days a week, you're gonna make it. because it's, believe it or not, I don't know, I cannot explain why, but you step out of your house and the opportunities are there for your services, for uh, whatever you want to do. And I'm very, very grateful to this country. And of course, there is some downsides of living in US. And I will say that because, man, I think after living 12 years here and being a citizen and having a bunch of American friends and have built a life here, I can say that right now. I'm not criticizing the country or anything like that. And the first thing that is a downside of the US, the United States, is the food. Guys, I'm sorry, but the food in the United States sucks. You know, fast food everywhere. Even if you go to grocery stores, everything is already packed and prepared and frozen. It's very rare to find somebody who makes home, who cooks at home. That like do all the process. The meat is already all packed, all cut it. The veggies, the fruit. So it's hard. It's hard to eat well here. And once you find a place to eat well, God is expensive. It's so expensive. So there is a problem with food in US. And of course, people who live in US their whole lives, they don't see that because it's routine, it's normal. But if you go to South America and you go to Europe, you see that they eat much better than us here. The second thing, it is medical care. Medical care in US is a problem because it's if you get sick, even if you have like healthcare or whatever, you're gonna pay money. You're gonna pay money. You're gonna leave some thousands of dollars there. It's very expensive. It's very good. So like I remember a few years ago, I had a problem on my back, and I had to stay in the hospital for a few hours, and I didn't have any medical healthcare. And man, I spent some thousands of dollars at that hospital. But I understand as a big country, it's very difficult for the government to give free medical care to people. But it's a problem. If you go like to Europe or Canada or South America, pretty much it's cheap. If it's not cheap, it's free. Of course, we have problems in Brazil, like sometimes you need to wait weeks for an exam or to see a doctor because it's free. And US is quick, but it is a problem. Other than that, I don't see any major problems with US. Of course, we have a kind of problem with violence in US, especially with guns. Brazil is a very violent country. It is but it's a different kind of violence. It's more like a urban violence, like people can rob you in the traffic lights or things like that. In US, it's safer than Brazil. It is much safer. I feel much more safe walking on the streets in US than walking on the streets in Brazil. But we have a problem here with guns. But anyway, it's part of the American culture, and I don't think this will never change. Americans were raised in the cowboy culture where we need to have guns to protect ourselves from the government, or we need to have guns to protect ourselves from whatever. It's part of the American personality and the American culture, so this is not going to change. But that's it. I miss Brazil a lot. I miss the food, so I'm very lucky to live in Orlando. And Orlando is amazing because there's like a little Brazil here when we have restaurants, grocery stores, bakeries, pizza places, everything from Brazil you can find in Orlando. That's one of the reasons why I love Orlando so much, because there's a little Brazil right here, not far from me. But above all, I love US. I respect this country, and it's an amazing place. So thank you, US, to accept me here as a citizen, and I'm working hard to one day to pay back everything this country gave to me. Thank you very much. Bye.